All right, let's do it. Another Hailstorm album ranking. This time it's going to be the Vicious record. This is their first studio album, released July 27, 2018. Listening to this record, there's a lot of edge to it. I like, there's a slow build to these songs, and I found watching them in concert, they have like 2019 footage on YouTube. It's Live at Donington is the one that I've been watching the most. Um, really, start liking their songs a little bit more. Um, so let's get into some of the tracks that stand out to me. Album opens with Black Vultures. Yeah, it's cool. Like I'll say it's decent. It's growing on me the more that I listen to it, but I find myself comparing it to the Back from the Dead album opener, which I don't know, that might be one of my favorite Hailstorm songs that has this like growl and energy to it. And then the new record, Everest, I really like the Fallen Star album opener. So when I compare Black Vultures versus those two, it just doesn't have the same energy and catchiness of it. I don't skip it. I think the more I listen to it, it's growing on me as I've dove into this record more this week. So Black Vultures, it was one of their singles. I think it was their second single. So yeah, give it a listen. See what you think about that. And if you haven't checked it out yet, the next song on the album is Skulls. Yeah, groovy hooks. I like this one. You just kind of feel yourself going with it. I really like the way that it opens. Not as catchy as some of the top-notch Hailstorm records. I find this in a lot of the songs. The choruses aren't as special. You don't feel yourself singing as much as or at least I didn't on the other records. But again, Skulls is cool. That's a good, definitely good song to listen to. Yeah, I'm just curious for everyone as you compare Hailstorm records song to song, kind of where you see these songs stand. But Skulls is probably one of the songs on the record that are going to be my top three or four. Their first single is Uncomfortable, opens up real punk rock vibe. I like the energy of this one. Solid drumming from RJ. I was calling him AJ in the other two album rankings, so my bad. This is RJ. And really, you start feeling the drums, him showing more of that talent towards the back end of the song. So it's nice punk rock vibe, drumming in there, and then really picks up towards the back end. But again, I was surprised. This is especially surprised as the first single, but the chorus is just not as strong. I don't think it's as strong as the opening, as you go through the verses. And now let's do our classic sensual innuendo or like, hey, we're just talking about hooking up song from Hailstorm, Do Not Disturb. This was their third single. I like this one. I like this one. Again, I just go back to the sleazy rock and roll, has this edge to it. And I noticed it on the last record, Back from the Dead, that I reviewed. They just remind me of Rat, some of the style of just Rat and what they were doing when they were in their heyday. Now, on to the next song, and this is one of my favorites of the album, is Buzz. Again, it's that sleazy rock vibe. I'm digging that. I really like the addition of the talk box when the song goes on. I think that's just a cool little thing. You get in, you start listening to it, and you're like, oh, there's something else here. And like, oh, I didn't notice the talk box the first few times I was listening to this album, so that's a cool one. And then another song I really like, really stands out when I was watching live at Download from 2019 is Killing Ourselves. You just can see as Lizzie's up there playing, she has this extra energy to her. She's feeling it. I think the song starts out really strong, good vocal inflection, and just again, this edge is the theme of this album. There's just this edge here. Joe's solo is the highlight of the song for me, and then I just like the nice progression as the song just works through itself. And then you got one of these classic Hailstorm songs with the acoustic, really acoustic, and then clean vocals from Lizzie, and then it goes into this like scream, which I like the build ups. Her vocals are always fantastic, and this is Novocaine, so that's a cool track. Two more songs I want to talk about here. The next one is White Dress. Real good bounce to this. You just find yourself moving. If you're sitting down, your foot is tapping along to the beat. I'll say it's one of the better tracks for me. And then I found myself singing to this one too. So definitely catch your hooks for me on this song. So definitely recommend A White Dress. Add that to the playlist. And then my favorite song on the album is the closer, The Silence. Classic. Again, Hailstorm. The last two records, the records end on with these more mellow songs, and I just think it's silent. It's a beautiful song. guitar, Joe's playing, Lizzie's singing, and this is just she's at her finest. She's able to shine here. So yeah, Silence. I'm surprised this wasn't one of the singles. I really love that song. Went on my mellow playlist, played the heck out of that one. And I would just recommend if you're thinking about this album or maybe you didn't love it, go check out the live 2019 at Donington concert. Some of these songs, I think they'll grab you more. My grade for this record was going to be 5.5 out of 6, but I found myself the more I listened to it this week, it was going up a little bit. And I will say the concert I watched really helped with that too. So I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. So a 6 out of 10, Vicious from Halestorm. It's worth a buy, definitely worth a listen. I like what Halestorm's doing. And I know I said in the previous album reviews I was going to do a Halestorm album ranking this week. I want to review the other 3 records. I have 3 more to review, and then I'll do an album ranking after that. So, all right, go out and listen to some Halestorm and enjoy.